guys that today we're going to learn about how to dock and launch a boat. The overall learning objective today is you're going to learn how to safely, emphasis on doing it safely, dock and launch a small boat in moderate wind conditions. So it's not going to be very heavy wind. In a boat, you have two people. What are the two people called?
The skipper and crew.
Correct. Okay, so first, we're going to have the crew board the boat. And the crew is going to get ready with the dagger board. What is the dagger board? Anyone?
It's like a fin on the bottom of the boat that keeps it stable.
Yeah, that's correct. Okay, so then we're going to have the skipper is going to, while the crew's in the boat, the skipper's going to go to the front and grab the painter and untie it. What is the painter and what do we use it for?
We use it to tie boats to docks or boats to other boats.
That's correct. Okay, so then, so the skipper's untying the painter. They're going to push off from the bow, so the bow is in the front, but they're going to make their way to the back of the boat. So they're going to push off and walk their way, if you will. Does that make sense? Walk their way to the back. And then once they get to the stern, the boat should be pointing away from the dock. And then they're going to push off, and as the boat departs, they're going to jump in the boat. Okay? They're going to take hold of the tiller and the mainsail, and the crew is going to drop the centerboard or dagger board, depends what kind of boat you're in. I said at the beginning the key point was safety. What are some things you might need to know before launching a boat?
Where irons is?
Yes, where irons is. Who can tell me what irons is?
When the boat is directly where the wind is coming, so when you're in irons, you're facing directly to the wind.
And what's your boat doing in irons?
Nothing.
No. Exactly. So you want to be there because you want to make sure you know where that is, okay? Now, what's the issue with not knowing where the wind is coming from? Let's say you're pushing off and you're sailing and you don't know if the wind's coming from behind you, and you push off and all of a sudden the boom swings.
You might get hit.
Exactly. What are some other things you might need to know about your area, your surroundings when you're docking, when you're launching?
If it's shallow or any rocks?
Yeah, if it's shallow, if there's any rocks. What about some other things? What about living things?
Swimmers?
Yeah, they could live for swimmers. Yeah.
Ducks. Any other boats?
Other boats, that's a good one. I was thinking maybe like deadheads or seaweed. We don't really have them very much in Sudbury, but other yacht clubs. There are plants you need to watch out for because you can get stuck in them. Alright, and also, you want to make sure that you follow the instructions of instructions of me. So if I tell you not to go, then you don't go. I'm going to see if you listened. Hope you did. And I'm going to tell a story, and you're going to tell me what's wrong with the story at the end, okay? Okay? So, Larry and Lucy launch a laser tube. Larry and Lucy are first-time sailors and have not been given much instruction as to how to launch their laser tube. Larry and Lucy eventually figure out how to rig their boat, and when it's time to launch, they're ready to go. Larry boards the boat and gets ready to drop the dagger board. Lucy, being the skipper, unties the painter. Lucy drops the painter in the water, and she pushes off from the stern, and the bow hits the dock. She asks Larry to help her by pushing at the bow from in the boat. So Larry and Lucy finally launch their boat, and everything seems to be alright. But they started to drift. Then just as they turn to pull away from the dock, the boom swings and forcefully it almost knocks Lucy out of the boat. After that scare, Lucy notices that the water is starting to look lighter. Lucy tries to turn away from the shallow water, but despite her efforts, they kept on drifting. Just in time, the coach boat pulls up and tows them back to the open water. The instructor had a few corrections for Larry and Lucy. What were some of the issues with this launch?
So they didn't make note of where irons was, so they were on a run, and then so they jived and it made them like tip a bit, and then they got into irons near shallow water and couldn't get out. They didn't make note of where it was and didn't bubble.
Yeah. Okay, what else happened? What happened? Like, right at the beginning, like, before they even started sailing.
They hit the dock.
They hit the dock. Why did they hit the dock?
They weren't in the right position.
No, they weren't in the right position. But where did she push off from? Yeah.
The stern.
Yeah, she pushed off from the stern. So if you push off from the stern, where's the bow going to go?
Right to the dock.
Exactly. So you don't want to do that. Okay, so also, why did they, you said they drifted, right? Why did they drift?
They didn't pull on their sailor. Wait. Well, they were lines.
They weren't in irons, they were on a run, right? And they were drifting.
Oh, they didn't put the dagger board down.
Yes, they didn't put the dagger board down. Good catch. Okay. Also, what else did they do? Their first time, right, they don't really know what's going on, they don't know what to look for. So what did they not notice other than the irons?
They dropped the painter.
Yeah, they dropped the painter, that's one. But they're drifting into shallow water. Why would you be near shallow water?
Okay, near the shore.
Yeah, but they were inexperienced. They didn't know. So they were unaware of their surroundings and where the shallow water was. Okay, so that's a safety thing, right? You need to know if there's rocks or shallow water, like you said, right? Okay, are we good with Larry and Lucy launch a laser too?
Yes.
Okay. Over here. So the second part to this is docking. So you've launched, you're sailing, you're having a good time, and now your coach says heading. Well, you're coming in and you're approaching the dock, there's other boats, what do you do? Okay, so what you're going to do is first you're going to identify irons. That's important. Irons is?
Facing directly into the wind.
Yes. And what's your boat doing in irons?
Nothing.
Exactly. Okay, so what you're going to do is the skipper is going to steer the boat perpendicular to the dock. So perpendicular means if the dock, you're going at a 90-degree angle. So you're going to go at a 90-degree angle towards the dock. And as you approach, you're going to start loosening your sails a little bit, loosening them to lose a little bit of speed. As you get close to the dock, your skipper is going to turn up into the wind, so head up into the wind, into irons, and you're going to let all the sails go. Then the crew is going to grab onto the dock and hop out while still holding the boat, grab the painter and tie it on, while the skipper can get out after that. It's pretty straightforward, 3 steps. Perpendicular to the dock, turn up, loosen your sails into irons, tie yourself to the dock. Good? I have a volunteer. Sharon, you want to come and help me, please?
Sure.
Okay, so we're going to play a game. The game is called What's Wrong with This Picture? First one. So this arrow represents the wind. The green boat is where they're starting off, and the red boat is where they're headed to. The blue lines are how their sails are. So here, they're coming up on kind of a close halt, close reach, and here their sails are out halfway a little bit, right? And then here their sails are just flapping around. So what's wrong with this? What did they do wrong?
They docked in at a beam reach, so that's like almost the fastest point of sail. They should be headed into irons.
Okay, so how can you fix this picture? Looking from where should they have gone?
They should have their bow facing directly into the dock.
Yeah, so they want to be docked over on this side, right? So they can go straight up. Okay? Got that one?
Yes.
So, number 2. What's wrong with this picture? This one's tricky. Is there anything wrong with this picture? Is there? Just yes or no? Is there something wrong?
I don't think so.
No, there is nothing wrong. This one is done correctly. Okay, number 3. What's wrong with this picture? We have the wind coming in from the left side of the page, still winging in, right? And then we have a boat coming in on a close halt, and they're bearing off into broad reach.
Well, first of all, they're coming in at our broad reach instead of into irons, and they also didn't let loose their sails.
Yes, and even if they let their sails out, what's going to happen?
They're going to run into the dock.
Yeah, they're going to keep on moving because when you're going downwind, your sails are supposed to be out a bit more, right? Okay, what would you do to fix it? What would you do differently?
You could go on the other dock.
Yeah, exactly. So where would you, if you were this green boat, where would you sail to?
That dock.
Just go up, and then pull in, like that. Perfect. Nice job. Okay, number 4. The wind is coming from the top of the page. Boats coming in on a broad reach, and their sails are all the way pulled in, and then they're heading up into irons.
Your sails are supposed to be out on a broad reach.
Good job, you got it. Did they go to the right place though?
Yes.
Yes, they did. Last one. So the wind is coming from the top of the page. They're on a beam reach going across the dock, and then they're bearing off and going into kind of like a run, I guess. And their sails are just flopping around. What's wrong with this?
They docked on a run, so they should be in like an 180 degrees position, facing into irons.
Yeah, exactly. So what would you do differently? If you were coming in from over here, if you're sailing in, where would you go?
Well, you would have to be a bit lower down, so you can sail up.
Yeah, so you can turn up. What do you need to, even though I didn't have them in the pictures there, what do we need to look out for when you're docking?
Other boats?
Other boats. How can that be an issue when you're docking?
Because what if you're docking, trying to get to the same place, and you crash?
Yeah, and you don't want to damage yourself or any of the equipment used at the yacht club. Okay? Today we learned how to dock and launch a boat safely. It is a small boat, so one without a motor, one centerboard or a dagger board, so there's no keel. So it'd be laser tube, Opti, 420s.